Welcome. Welcome. What is up, Sir Gorin? Hope everyone is doing well. Lots of stuff has happened. Lots of stuff has changed based on first kind of iteration of the Whitewood here. And all my custom sheet metal and stuff showed up, so I can finally get my inlays configured the way I want. That's exciting. Exciting stuff. What's up, Joust? So with that, go walk around. Unplug this thing. Okay. Alright. So, you can kind of see the playfield here. I've mocked a bunch of stuff up, just getting something that works. You can kind of see I put in the pre-made inline guides just temporarily until I get mine, which showed up over there. But yeah, I've been messing with the layout a lot of changes already. Initially I had this outer orbit that went around this inner orbit, and it was a little bit tight on space, and I had issues where the inner orbit wasn't clean on how it fed the ball, because right here is like the room of requirements shot, and the original design, the inner orbit was kind of like here, and there was a set of posts and a gate in the middle of that orbit, so the ball would pass through that rail and into the outer orbit where I could take it in the subway. And I did a lot of like fine tuning in Visual Pinball to get that to work, but it just didn't really translate well. And I wanted to make sure this inner orbit was a nice clean ride all the way around for the ball. So with that, I pushed this inner orbit out back a little bit, so the outer orbit is gone, but I'll explain those changes in a minute. But this is now a nice clean feed all the way around. Yeah, so I'm happy with those changes, and by pushing this back, it allowed me to make some other design changes up in this area, because now I have more space to work with. So, oh boy, where do we even start? So I messed a lot with this area right here. So in my design, there's a ramp right here, and that ramp feeds up and over to the sorting hat, which will probably work fine. But I was thinking, I already have quite a few feeds to the sorting hat, and I don't have a good feed where you can shoot from the right flipper and have it go down a wire form to the left flipper. Not something that's like consistent. So right now this is slated to be like a drop ramp that goes into a 180, and then that'll feed down a wire form along Quidditch and over towards the left flipper. So with that, there used to be Scoop right here, which was the Flu network, and in Visual Pinball you could hit that scoop all day, but when you put it in the real world and you're trying to line up a shot through here that hugs these targets, those targets, and you're trying to get that to feed into the scoop, it was just pretty much unhittable. And that scoop was kind of more of a primary shot in a way, because that was part of the Flu network. So what I did is that scoop that was right here now repositioned over here behind the pop bumper. And there is, let me move this plastic out of the way. So there is a rail, as you can see, that from the right flipper shoots up and dumps into the pop bumpers, which is interesting. Or this wood piece right here is a diverter that'll rotate over this way. So then any shots to this rail will feed into this orbit and down to the upper right flipper. So that's a good change. And then this diverter is also multi-purpose, because when I rotate this in, that now directs any shots right through here into the VUC, which is the flue network. This VUC positioning here also is doubling as the room of requirements, which there's a drop target here for when the room of requirements thing happens. And and then I can also eject a ball out of this flue, and that'll feed into the pop area, which is the dungeon of Hogwarts or House Slytherin. So there's that. And then if you shoot up through here in normal state, so whether this drop ramp is up or down, if you shoot through the pops here, it'll feed around here, it'll pass by the edge of this drop ramp, and then down to your right flipper. So I think that's gonna add a lot of fun to the shots. What's up, Sarski? How's it going? Thanks for the sub, much appreciated. I didn't hear it. For whatever reason, my notifications aren't working when I stream, even though I tested them before. So that's really cool. But thank you, I really do appreciate it. What else? So that's this whole area that's reworked. Additionally, I'm just by like throwing the ball at it, I'm finding that this gap right here is too tight. Now, while shooting it on the fly from this flipper, it might have a tendency to ride this rail, this entrance here more. I'm still worried that it's going to be too tight of a shot to get like some good quick succession loop shots. So with that, this post is going to move over, I would say maybe half an inch. This drop target's going to move over half an inch, and you can see my arrows there. This post is going to move over half an inch. So this whole 3-ball or 2-ball lock, which is the trio team up, this whole lock, we'll call it the Denisi lock, is shifting over a half an inch to make this loop shot here more repeatable and clean. And then with shrinking the space up, I'm going to fit a Newton ball in right there do a target back in there. So that's that change. What else? Okay, so yeah, the right shot here, which is, so this is Hagrid's hut, and when this is rotated into the open position, the Hagrid's hut shot is now a ramp. So this used to be just an orbit that went around to the right side, or I could grab it out of the orbit with a magnet and drop it into the subway, but that's really a redundant feature. So that's gone, and this is now just going to be a ramp that feeds over into, I have a diverter assembly that sits over top of this, where I can feed the ball either out this left orbit or down a wire form over to feed the left flipper. So, what's up, Sergeant? How you doing today? Everything going well? It's hump day, isn't it? Wednesday? I can't keep the day straight anymore. So yeah, that's that. Some other things that I've discovered. So I thought this shot right here, was gonna be easier to hit. It's easier to hit if I move this stand-up target over 1/4 of an inch that way, which makes my ramp only 2 inches wide, which is fine by me because I found that hitting this shot right here, it's kind of on a sweet spot of the flipper, so I think that's going to be hit, that right ramp is going to be hit more often than not. So if I just close the gap on it by 1/4 of an inch, that really makes this orbit here more enjoyable to hit. So yeah, that's most of the changes so far, and there's been a lot. I've got a running list of all the changes I gotta make to the CAD file. But, so yeah, up until this point, I've been mocking everything up, using a combination of things. Like, you can see I have some wood that I cut some strips. That's 1 1/8 by, this is approximately 1/8 of an inch. And so this is just some pine that I cut to mock up some rails with. That's worked out pretty well. I've found that if I want to do tighter curves, I gotta soak the wood and then make my bends and then kind of hold them in place while it dries. So I've been doing that. And before the metal that you see in there arrived, I was using these, which these are strips of vinyl flooring, because I thought, it's pretty flexible. I feel like you can put a bend in those pretty good, but at a certain point they do snap on you, so kind of stopped using the vinyl flooring thing. Oh, what else is new? So the rotisserie's gone through a few modifications, but nothing major. I think the last time that I streamed, I had these brackets installed that hold the toggle clamps in place. So those work really well because it gives me the adjustability based on the width of the playfield. And then I designed some brackets for mounting flipper switches, which, I mean, that's pretty straightforward, just 1/4 inch board, and then I shimmed out the switch, and that's all wired up fine. Got one on each side. This is what I like about this design, is it's the modularity of the extrusion aluminum. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. And then I went through like a whole bunch of thoughts and research how I wanted to design the brake mechanism for this that kind of locks it in place. I mean, you can see I can still rotate this, but it's got a lot of resistance on it. So so I got just an angle bracket and then a 6-inch piece of, or 4-inch, I don't remember, piece of extrusion. And then I ordered this clamp from a place called One Hydraulic, I think. And they make these clamps for oil rigs for hydraulic lines that are exactly the diameter I needed for my 1-inch shaft. And then I put in my own 1/4 by 20 bolt there so I can actually tighten it by hand. And then the bottom one is just tightened with a wrench. But it works pretty well. Before that point, I was using these clamps, just some strong spring clamps, and I would come in here and clamp it on the back, and I would do one on each side, and that would keep it, you know, horizontal. But then the issue I had with these is as I was working on stuff and like putting pressure on the play field, eventually this thing would get pushed off of there and snap off, and it would fly up into my ceiling and across the room. So glad to be done with those. What else? I've started working. Oh, I was gonna say I got some sheet metal parts from Pinball Life that are off of the Hobbit game, and those have worked out really well for just mocking up rails and kind of fitting things where I want them. Really easy to just kind of screw in place and make them work. So those have been the best thing. But the wood's been good too, just not as clean as the metal rails. And oh, what else? Oh, I'll take you a walk through my. Well, I can't because I don't have a microphone. I was gonna say, started kind of working on mapping out the rules and how everything is gonna work. I've got a buddy of mine who's been helping kind of soundboard ideas off of, and we're working together on what we think would work really well for the theme. So that'll happen eventually. I haven't even started with rules or code or any of that because I want to get this mocked up where I'm satisfied with the shots and all the mechs installed. And then at that point, I know what I can work with code-wise. Because, you know, I might be accounting for mechs that won't make it to the final version. Who knows? So then, that takes me to this. It's not really an unboxing, so I lied. It's more of an unwrapping. So these are all my SendCutSend orders. So you can see, like, this one here's got some stuff shrink wrapped onto it. So does this guy. This guy. Got a couple pieces on here that are too big that didn't scale correctly. Then lastly the back one. So we're gonna start unwrapping these. Yeah, this is exciting stuff for me because this right here is the Quidditch racket assembly for the whole Quidditch playfield thing. I was worried that this was going to be like too complex of a design for them to do and do the bends and everything, but they actually were able to do it, which was insanely awesome. Really the only parts that I had issues with bends were some where you're like making a U shape with the bends and the space between. So I have a couple things I got to redesign, but mostly all working, which is exciting. Let me try to position this thing so it doesn't like fall off. And like maybe that. Then we'll start unwrapping. And where'd I put my knives? There they are. So what I want to do is kind of like as I unwrap stuff is figure out, try to remember what it is, and then where to put my tape. Oh, over here. And then I'm gonna label it so it's easier to figure out later. There's the marker. Okay. yeah, so we'll go through unwrapping this stuff and labeling. And what I'd like to do is at least get my in-lanes installed and work through that. And this should be some good ASMR for people who like watching stuff be unwrapped. Although doing it with a dull knife is not ideal. Alright, giving up on that knife. This is some intense shrink wrap they put on here though. But I do like that they actually shrink wrap this stuff down instead of let it just kind of fly around in the box. Like that would be annoying to me if I spend money on their stuff and it shows up all bent and damaged. I need like a trash can in here. So how's everyone doing out there? Made it halfway through the week. Hey, thank you for following. I can't read that. Ron Paul, thank you for following. Hope you're doing well. There we go. So this is the Quidditch bracket. That'll be the Quidditch pitch. And that will sit kind of at here. Right about there-ish. Yeah. Maybe you can see that over top. I think so. Well, thanks for stopping by. I mean, if you have any questions on what I'm doing, I stream occasionally. For me, it ends up being more of a hassle to set up a stream than to actually get some work done on this, but my goal is to try to stream some of the more significant progress, or like some gameplay shot testing and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's a metal base for the upper playfield because it's a unique design. So this metal base is a bracket that I mount some stepper motors to, here and here, and then I've got some mounts here and here for some switches, and there's a whole bunch of other craziness on here. Like this right here is for a flipper shaft. This right here is for a linear bearing, and ultimately what this is it's like the mech base for a Quidditch pitch, where you can have the ball up on here and the base of the playfield will actually be clear acrylic. And as you shoot the ball on this playfield, that acrylic will raise and lower as you're flipping the ball. And then there will be the 3 iconic scoring rings from Quidditch that you can actually shoot the ball through to score points. So I'm really happy that this is seemingly turned into something that's doable. We'll see in the end. I have a lot of faith though. I think it's gonna work. Yeah, if you go to, I think it's public, on my YouTube channel, I've got like a 10-second clip out there that shows an animated functionality of how that playfield works. So you can go check that out. It's the same way that my name is spelled on here, but I'm guessing this isn't your first homebrew. Actually, it is. This is my first homebrew. I may have signed up for more than I should have, but I'm gonna follow through on it. For me, like, the Harry Potter theme deserves, you know, something with good representation of the license, even if it's for my own personal project. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Let me bring up the render. Well, not the render, the CAD file. So, let me sit down. So this is the CAD file of it. Done a lot of work in designing layout and the mechanical stuff that goes on and how it's all going to work. You can see the Quidditch pitch right here. Then Hogwarts is still a work in progress. But yeah, really excited about it. Got a lot of layers hidden on here right now too. Forms. That burrow is taking a minute too long. Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's gonna be really sweet. Okay, you can kind of see the the theme that I'm going for here. I don't know if it's too much as far as sculpts are concerned. Find out. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be sweet. I'm excited. All right. A few more plastics. And this last sling plastic out of here. There we go. That should be everything from this one. Yep. So what all we got here? This is the plastic for this area here. And then that's the sling plastic for back there. And one of the front sling plastics. There we go. And the other. So I haven't done any like the artwork yet. These are just getting the plastics cut out and in place. And then these packages here, I imagine, are my inlane dividers. So I'm actually doing the P3 Rock and MPF. I've got the boards I haven't started anything with code. That's the next big leap. So, what did I cut out? Okay. So these are little pieces for the Quidditch play field. Come on. I think I need a sharper knife. Just a fresh one. This appears to be a combination of smaller stuff. So there's like some lane dividers in there. There's some brackets, mostly lane dividers and brackets, and a ball guide for sorting hat. Oh yeah, and sorting hat's its own thing too. Sorting hat is like a multi-state diverter that is kind of based off of a design of like an old railroad turntable, and it's capable of pushing the ball in many directions. So it can alter the ball path of all of your ramp shots many ways. Oh sweet. What theme are you thinking about doing? If you want to share. That's Quidditch stuff. These are some inlane stuff. I kind of want to keep those out. This is one of the ball guides. I think it's actually, yeah, it's that side. That's an inlane guide for that side, and this is that side. Yeah, it's definitely intimidating when you think about it, like as a whole. It's definitely a massive undertaking, but I mean, if you just reason your way through it step by step and like try not to think about too much stuff at once, then it's pretty achievable. Like, play into your strengths. For me, I have a lot of experience with AutoCAD. I don't actually have a job with AutoCAD and stuff like that, but lots and lots of experience using it. So I started more in the digital world. I downloaded VPX and I used that to design the layout and geometry. And VPX is really good for like testing shot geometry. The physics are pretty close. You just you gotta fudge factor some amount of like space in your shots just to make sure they're like not too tight, because it might do some weird things, but more so, like I know Ryan, who did the Sonic Spinball, started in VPX to do the layout and the geometry, which is what I did. But I didn't do any coding in VPX. It was merely just for coming up with the layout that I thought was fun to shoot. And then from there, I transferred it over to AutoCAD and started drawing it up 3D. Oh, that would be sweet. Pork Dog, what is up? What is going on? We got parts. So here's the next parts. Lots of parts. Oh, what do we got on here? So this is the Quidditch playfield that raises up and down. This is acrylic. The flipper bushing mounts to it. and then I'll custom make a flipper with a little stub shaft on it. And then the, why can't I think of it? For the lead screw, the nut for the lead screw mounts here and here. And then this is the slot where the posts with the scoring rings are. I will be labeling them. The last one I opened is all pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not worried about that. This is the drop ramp, which is already cut from design. So that was a good expense right there. It's not cut from the design, it's just kind of being relocated, and I have to design a different ramp for it, so there's that. This is the sorting hat top part of the mech. So it's upside down right now, but you can see where the wire forms will attach there. And then my ramps attach there. So that's one part of the sorting hat mech. These are the custom brackets I made for my Vux that allow me to eject a ball into the subway. This is the bearing support for the Quidditch bracket. There should be 2 of those. This is for the Whomping Willow. This is for my bracket that I said earlier. This is for my left inverter. I'm doing good so far. I can remember this stuff. Look at me. This is a protector for the opto, the long range opto in the outer orbit. This was a bracket for a servo for a diverter that is already being repurposed elsewhere, so that's another useless expense. Yay. This is a catch for my captive ball mech. These are mounts for the ramps that go into the sorting hat. These are brackets for my mag rail. These are 2 more of those brackets for the Vux. This is the this is the forks for the pop-up forks for the whatever lock. Weasley lock. This is the Hagrid's Hut bracket that holds the stand-up targets. This is part of the drop ramp assembly that sits below this, but over top of all this. So I'm doing a good job remembering so far. Let's catch up on chat. Borg Dog, did your VPX translate well to the physical world? Friend Paul, I did have SendCutSend do only the sheet metal and the acrylic and some of the bending on the sheet metal, but the playfield I did myself. I have a CNC in my barn. And if you go to my channel, I did a live stream for the CNC cutting, whitewood cutting. You can go watch that. It's like an 8-hour long session, and it ran later than that in the night. But if you're bored, you can throw that on. Most of the brackets are 16 gauge stainless, so they should be pretty solid. If I have to make some of them thicker, I will, but they're all 16 gauge by default. Yeah, that's good to hear. I know Ryan did the same thing with Sonic, and he said his all translated really well. But also on his playfield, I think his shots are maybe a little bit wider than the ones that I've done on here. So there might be a little bit more playroom or wiggle room on his layout. what I've noticed so far with mine is, for the most part, it all shoots really well, but some of the shots are just a little bit too tight. But it's all worked out pretty well so far. Cat Makes, thanks, appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, Borg Dog, what homebrew did you do again? Set this up so I can continue cutting stuff. Okay. Close enough. I need a sharper knife. Maybe this one. Here, if I turn it this way, I think this way you can see my stupid hands doing things. Hand cam. That's better knife. Knobs. Your whitewood is called knobs? Am I reading that right? Explain. This here is the fork that mounts to the back of the VUC assembly and allows me to, essentially I can articulate these forks inside of the VUC and kick a ball backwards into the subway. So that's that. Let me undo this blade and see if the other edge is sharp. This one's got a broken point on it. Both broken, but these blades might be good. Yeah, those look fresh. Perfect. Nothing like some fresh blades. Come on. Oh, it's sticky. What is somebody doing with it? There we go. There we go, okay. Cribbage theme, okay. Back of the same suit as the turn card counts for 1. Huh. I will admit I have never played cribbage. I know nothing about cribbage. But I live in Michigan, and I know what euchre is. I can play euchre. I think that's a requirement to live in this state. Fresh knife helps. There, so that is the... And my camera got... Sorry, this is tough. I should just... Let me move footage off here. There, that's better. Okay, so this bracket here is the base plate for the drop ramp diverter that kind of sets. Where are we at? Is this oriented correctly? So it kind of sets, I think, like here-ish. And this allows me to take a ball in from here. And then I have a set of optos mounted there. And then a diverter right here. So normally it can come right down this gap here and drop into my orbit. Or I can divert it over here and down a wire form. So there's that assembly. Well, it's not an assembly. There's that bracket. Just gonna start placing stuff and then lose it later. And put this down. Possible to work with. Okay. So this is another fork that mounts a little bit more in this. There's another fork that mounts to the back of a buck that I can rotate up and in to impede the ball path in the buck. I need organization. It's driving me nuts. Put some of the smaller parts in my other box. Yeah, alright, so this here is a fork assembly that pops up through the playfield, and then it'll divert a ball up into a lock assembly. So there's that. Much similar in design to like the chest on Pirates. And I don't know why they gave me two of these. Pretty sure I only ordered one. So maybe the first one didn't pass their quality checks, I don't know. So this is a bracket for mounting targets for Hagrid's Hut. What was this thing? Can't remember. Looks like I've got a pilot hole in there for something. I honestly can't remember. I'll have to figure that one out. Anyone in chat gonna buy any of the new pins coming out? Lots of stuff in the market right now. Too much stuff in the market. How are you supposed to decide? So this is one of the brackets that'll get attached to the back of a buck. Do I have one of those around here? I can show. Yeah. So here's the buck assembly. with the subway entrance in the back. This just pops on the back, kind of like that, and then I can mount a coil on the back side of it. And then those forks that I was showing you earlier, which are over there, mount into the slot here, and then I'll just cut 2 slots in the back of the buck, and then those forks can kind of like come in to here, and then I can pulse the coil to eject the ball back into the subway. So that should work. Fairly sure. Ooh, Godzilla Pro. That's exciting. I got one of those in my house. Those are a lot of fun. Great game. Congrats on the purchase. I would also like a P3 Denisi game. I'm on a pre-order for a P3, but that won't be ready for me till next year. So I'm debating if I want to just add the Denisi game to my order, if they'll let me, or will I have to like get in line and receive that game after I receive my P3? I don't know. Oh, this plastic is quite impossible. Especially once this plastic like shrinks and sticks back to itself. And that's a pain. Not as bad as those blister packs though. Those are awful. I ordered with mine the Heist and Weird Al. So I'm already spending quite a bit of money, which is why I'm on the fence with the Denisi game right now, just because I don't want to tack that additional cost onto it when it comes out. Board Dog, that's exciting. It'll be fun. You'll have to let me know how it is, how you enjoy it. I've played them at a couple shows, so they're definitely really fun to shoot. But I haven't had a chance to play Weird Al. So these here, these are brackets for the mag rail system, and that should work nicely. I was going to kind of see if they fit with my linear rails. They should, since I designed them according to the spec, but yeah, it definitely is a big chunk of change when you get that many modules. But in the end, once you have the P3, every time a new game comes out, it's only what, $2,000 or $3,000. So that's a bargain these days. Heck yeah. Or you can pay $10,000 to $15,000 or $20,000 for a new box. Full game. let's see, 2,000 to 3,000 or 20,000. That's a tough choice. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I would say after 3. Well, because let's say a premium Stern 9500 or 97, whatever it's at these days. And after you buy 3 modules for a P3, but you only gotta make up the cost of the machine itself, right? Which the machine by itself, I forget what the base is, like 10. So really, yeah, buy like three play fields and you've already paid for the machine, or I don't know. I can't math. Mathing is hard. What is this guy? Oh, that's for the diverter that's already been nixed, so that's cool. This is for my captive ball lock thing. Just gonna start throwing all the sheet metal underneath and then organize it later. This is a side rail for the Horcrux ramp, which that ramp has already been redesigned. Well, I'll put it this way. If this doesn't work, that ramp is going to be redesigned. But for now, this will be at least used to mock up and see if my original design works, but I'm getting the feeling that it's not going to be the cleanest shot. This is for the ramp that mounts to the sorting hat. As long as I come out here every day and go over these parts like flashcards, I'll remember what they are. This is a bracket for the Quidditch playfield that supports the 3 rings and the plastics that are in between the 3 rings that take care of ball traps there. This one is a big fat I don't remember. So, who knows? I'll find that out later. Got another one of the claws for the Vux. Catch up with the chat. Kirk Hobbs. So for right now, the plans for Quidditch is there's going to be kind of like 2 parallels. Like when you're playing the Quidditch game itself, you're going to be trying to score points to win the game, and then catching the snitch also wins you the game by default, if you're familiar with the books. But I'm also going to make the snitch a little bit more difficult to catch, and as you level up your broom, you can catch, or you can gain ground on the snitch quicker, which makes it easier to catch a snitch in a match. And eventually, if you catch the snitch, that is your extra ball, your extra life, because inside of that snitch is the resurrection stone, where you're supposed to be able to, you know, bring life back from the dead and all that stuff. But so yeah, it makes sense to me to have the snitch be extra ball. And then like the first one, maybe the requirements to catch the snitch are a little bit easier, and then as you get one extra ball, then it becomes tougher to catch the snitch. But if you work on leveling up your broom, late game you can earn extra balls because your broom is able to catch the snitch. So that's kind of the thought process behind it. This thing is the catch for the captive ball mech. There we go. And that plastic is a pain. Thanks, yeah. Been putting a lot of thought into how the game's gonna be coded. So I'm looking forward to actually being able to start working on the code. But I think it's gonna work really well. Got some really cool ideas that I'm excited about. And there's, you know, some good parallel stuff that you can work on to make things easier or give you perks one way or another. Can't remember what this is. Another question mark. What is this thing? Come on. This is a... Oh, I remember. That's a guide for the center ramp. This is a protector for the long-range opto when the ball is coming through the outer orbit, or what used to be the outer orbit. I am using MPF, yes. Hey, I plan to stream code stuff. I'm just not to that point yet. I want to get a physical representation where I'm happy with how it all shoots, and make sure that I'm not putting like any redundant mechs and stuff like that in the game. So I'm gonna get the physical representation all cemented, and then I'll know my coil counts and stuff like that and can start building out the code. But yeah, I look at the code as it's gonna be kind of like a hybrid between like a JJP and a Stern. Like I want depth and complexity, but I want approachability. If that makes sense. Because like really, other people are only going to get to play this at shows. So I want people to be able to step up, see recognizable rules, so they can get started on their journey to Hogwarts. And then, you know, for people who want to get deep into it, there will be like all the other side stuff you can do and the parallels you can do, but I'll really try to draw attention to like the primary stuff that I want you to do. This is a bracket for the Whomping Willow mech. Yeah, but there's going to be like all kinds of parallels and stuff. Like, for instance, there will be not only like leveling up your broom, but leveling up your charms and all of your coursework, and progressing through owls and newts and stuff like that if you're a completionist. There's going to be house points. There's going to be leveling houses that is completely separate from the house points. There's all kinds of stuff. But yeah, like right now, each shot is associated with a region within the Harry Potter universe. Or we'll say the playfield is organized into regions, and each shot is a location, like a specific location from the franchise. And also each shot is tied to a character and is tied to a specific course, or what I'll call proficiency. So like all of your classes at Hogwarts will have a shot on the field, your cores and your electives. And there'll be some other little fun ones hidden in there too. And there will be all kinds of leveling associated with those classes, and leveling, or we'll say collecting characters and leveling houses and all kinds of stuff. Dragons, yep. So since my game is going to be more so the Harry Potter universe and not just Hogwarts, that's where I say like there's regions. So like the left side of the play field, like this area here, I think you can maybe see it on camera, maybe not. This area here is like your London area, and associated with that you have Diagon Alley and we'll call this like London and outside of Hogwarts grounds. So my map is in the other room. It's really hard to remember this right now. Diagon Alley, Gringotts. This is kind of like your travel shot slash flight. So this left orbit is actually a ramp. This is the Burrows, or the Weasley Lock, or it feeds into the orbit, which is your Hogsmeade orbit. This center spot here is where the Prophecy Orb will sit, and the Prophecy Orb will have a projection on the inside of it, and I'll use that to display like countdowns, like mode timers, stuff like that, but also like create moments with video. And then This shot here is the Ministry of Magic, Department of Mysteries. The 5 targets in here will be magic. These 3 here haven't figured out yet what they're gonna be. All of the narrow stand-ups that are like guarding your shots, those will spell Weasley. And spelling Weasley will qualify the Burrows Lock and Weasley multi-ball modes. So it's kind of regionalized. And then up in this area is like your Hogwarts grounds area. So you've got your Hogsmeade shot, which is a loop, so it's Hogsmeade on both sides. You've got ramps that go up to the castle. You've got your dungeons slash Slytherin house. You've got your owlry, courtyard. There's a 3-ball, like Denisi style lock here that is your trio team up, so that's where you can bring Ron and Hermione into a mode. And so think of that as like kind of like in Hobbit, where you can add a ball to a book mode type of thing. And you'll only be able to use that trio team up thingy once per year. And your goal is for each year to progress through. You have to, I think there's going to be 3 core modes that you have to play every year. And then I'll have lots of extra modes built in so you can explore through the year more if you want. But like the major plot points of each year will be modes that you got to play through. And I think either complete or just play through. Haven't decided yet. And then in addition to playing through those core modes, the requirement will be to play at least one of the multi-balls. And that'll get you to the wizard mode for that year. And since there are 7 years that we're going after here, I want to make it semi-achievable to get to a wizard mode in a year so that you can go experience the other years. Yeah. That's the best that I can recall that I've documented so far. It's really hard to think through rules and code from memory on something you haven't coded yet. Alright. This last piece is the Quidditch playfield. That'll be the part that raises up and down with the ball on it. And the flipper. That'll be fun. Alright. That one is complete. Yeah. So the sculpts are loosely placed right now and loosely scaled right now. I have a 3D printer I'm going to use, a resin 3D printer, so it's a lot more detailed. You don't see the lines. So I'm going to use that to make most of them. It's a large format printer. But I need to convert most of those to solids. Hogwarts is already done, so I can model Hogwarts however I need to fit my upper playfield there. The Prophecy Orb stand, I can just print that as is. That doesn't need anything done to it. Probably the same can be said about the diagonally sculpt on the left. Weasley's, I'm gonna have to do a bit to get that all set. Hey, thank you for following Black Belt Master. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's exciting. That's the play field for Twitch that will raise up and down. Woo. Exciting stuff. Oh, this one should go quicker. Woo. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. It's been a work in progress for quite some time. But so far I'm happy with how everything's turning out. Just got all my sheet metal and cutting that out, and then I can start assembling, which is also very exciting. You can see, like here, this piece got scaled wrong, and this piece got scaled wrong. So those two are duds. But everything else is looking good. Let's see, this piece here is one of my inner orbit rails from the previous design. So this will be useless, which is also good. I ordered a lot of sheet metal that I probably should have waited a little bit. But I ordered the sheet metal with the intention of using it for the first whitewood. But as I was waiting for the stuff to get made, I just started throwing other pieces of stuff in here to test the shots because I didn't want to wait any longer. And then I find out that things had to change already. So, like this piece right here is not going to be used. So I got to redesign this as a continuous piece for the orbit. I'll throw that over here. Try and remember this piece here. This is the left orbit, so that'll work. Yeah, so this goes on the left side over here, or this way. Something about like that. Got to put the bend in it. They don't do, like, you know, custom diameter curves. I am using P3 Rock for my controller, and then MPF for all my code. Though, disclaimer, I haven't coded anything yet. This plastic is so annoying. There we go. Yeah, I haven't used either before. I've got to teach myself MPF and Python. Got lots to do. How long before I think it's finished? My goal is to have, and don't hold me to this, but my goal is to have something playable with at least the first year coded at Expo. I've got a lot of work to do. I don't think I'll have any artwork, but I'd at least like to have this there with 1 year coded. First year of Hogwarts. Yeah, I'll just draw on the playfield with Sharpie and do my best impression of the Harry Potter font. And people will know. They'll be like, oh, yeah, that's Harry Potter by a 2-year-old. I'll be like, yeah, that's me. I'm a 2-year-old. But yeah, that's the ultimate goal. I want to have this thing live and playable so I can start, you know, getting some feedback from people. You know, it's one thing to design this with my own like impressions and playtesting, but when you have a couple hundred people come and put games on it, you really start to kind of stress test everything. Let's see, this bracket is the base for my sorting hat mech. This guy here. Well, that's fun. I don't know if you've seen, of course, you know, with my search history, Facebook advertises to me that they make these wands that actually shoot fireballs out the end. So, me being an idiot wants to buy one, bring it to Expo, and then, like, as people are playing, cast fireballs across the room. And then quickly get myself kicked out. And probably get charges pressed for trying to burn the place down or something. But I think that'd be funny if I was dressed up and casting fireballs out of a wand. This piece here. This piece is the other side of my Horcrux ramp, which may or may not change. This bracket is part of the mag rail system. So this one is for the mounting of the bearing blocks. Yeah, this is just the bearing block end. The other end of it is right here, which is not bearing block. Well, it's bearing block, but it's also stepper. Oh yeah. Can you hear the pup or you see the pup? I think you can just hear the pup. Maybe. This is my pups. Kirby and Buddy. They're good dogs. another bearing mount for the Quidditch. Oh, see you in here. Oh, it must be this top-down cam here. You can see him. This plastic wrap is gonna drive me nuts. Only one more board to go. After a quarter of the board to go. So one more board to go. Some lead in there. There we go. I don't even want to bother with this one. Anyone else on here order from SendCutSend before? I found out that they include candy with your orders. I also found out that that amount of candy does not scale with how much you spend, which is really disappointing. I spent $1,000 on custom metal stuff, and I got one stinking Twizzlers. It's like, that's the best you can give? You're like the old snobby people in the neighborhood that only handed out like popcorn balls on Halloween or something. Or here's your one Tootsie Roll. Jeez. So frustrating. Yeah, maybe I just need to submit my parts one at a time. Think of all the candy I could have had. Let's see, this piece is I can't remember. Can't remember. What is this piece? Huh. I'll have to think on that one. And then this one is for the vuck that feeds up to the sorting hat. Pretty. This one is the bracket for my captive ball mech, which combos as holding a magnet as well. So I figured I could combine both into one design. So that's for that. And then just a foil right there with the magnet core. So that's that. That turned out good. This one, I need to contact customer service because it was supposed to have benzene, and they put 1. I did 1 of 6. They could have at least, like, if they had an issue with this Formula U channel, they could have at least done like this one and this one and left me to do this one, but I didn't have any issues with it when it went through QA, so they told me that they could bend it, and they didn't. So I'm gonna ask them to make me another one since I paid for it. And last is the nightmare piece. Look at how much crap there is to cut out on this. I did save on shipping, and the reason why I did it all under one order is because they had a for new accounts they give you like a 10% discount code. So I was like, oh shoot, I may as well put everything in at once and save 10% on the entire order, which I did. This is part of the diverter ramp. They used to be part of the drop ramp, which is here. And of course, with my stupid luck, I didn't engineer enough clearance in those slots for those to go through. So that's on me. So yeah, this is one of the, I think that goes there-ish, maybe there-ish. So I'll see what I can do. I should be able to just mess with that design with a Dremel or a file, just to make those a little bit wider. Unfortunate, but that's the things you learn. Like, as you're going through and you're dreaming up all this stuff, in your mind you're thinking, you know, you're trying to be conscious and making sure that you have allowances in your design so that it doesn't all like end up being the same exact size and then you can't fit stuff together like my stupid self did. So, but it's easy to get lost in the whole design process. And like, you go down a path of actually engineering the thing, and you're so excited that you're engineering the thing that you forget the important stuff, like allowances. Oh well. Yeah. Dremel can fix it. I've also got a really good collection of files, thanks to my dad. So I'll bust those out. Maybe. There we go. What does this piece go to? Oh, that is for the ramp over on the one side. It's a wall for it. I don't have a forge, but a forge would be fun. I also need to build a vacuum form, thermal form machine for doing ramps and subway. Oh, that's the other thing. It's like, maybe I'm clueless, but it's such a pain to do ramps, to design ramps in Fusion 360. Such a pain. Like, I would love more than anything to design metal ramps for stuff, but I have not figured out a good way to do that and get flat patterns that are useful. Most of the time the flat patterns have curves in them, even if I make sure everything's tangent. It's really annoying. So if anyone knows any tips and tricks for designing sheet metal ramps, let me know. I guess like I can do sheet metal for like basic ramps, right? That's easy. But I'm talking like stuff that makes a curve like a swoop and it rises at the same time. Just impossible. What is this thing? Oh. They gave me one that's bent and one that isn't. Yeah. Weird. Well, I guess I got two there. Like I've been able to figure out how to design like plastic ramps. Like figuring out how to design the ramp itself and also the buck that you would need to machine out for thermoforming. I've been able to figure that out for the most part. Because you can thermoform just about any shape. But when it comes to sheet metal design, and how that software creates flat patterns, it needs to be like all of your lines have to be perfectly tangent, like you have to have constraints on your sketches that set everything tangent and set them as like fixed points and stuff like that. And then you have to hope that when it does the conversion to a flat pattern, that it unfolds all the curves. This is for sorting hat. That's like the plate that holds the whole diverter wall. And then this is also for my, it's a wall for my Weasley Burrows ramp area thing. This is a wall of sorts to something. What we got? Best we got. Hey, there's a flipper feed in lane. This is a bracket that ties the ramp to the sorting hat. This is I think it's a lane divider bracket for my double inlane. This is supposed to be for a diverter that is no longer going to be in the game because of the changes I made to the outer orbit. Then we got another inlane feed. And then this critical piece. This is the guide for my apron. So it'll sit down here. And in theory, if it all works right, I'll be able to use this to use a magnet to fling the ball around the curve and back up your outlane. That's when Dobie comes to save the day. So that's exciting. This is another yoke catch for one of my mechs. This is a flat piece of steel I don't remember what the heck it's for. So, yeah. I don't think I had any flat piece of steel stuff with no holes. That needs to like go on the question mark table. Do I have a table? I don't have a table for question marks. Just keep it under there. This should be a wall for somewhere. Cool, glad we figured that out. Right? Like, I know what most of the stuff is, but there's some stuff that's questionable to me. Like this here is my diverter for the left shooter lane, and it feeds the ball to your left flipper from the buck. For that I have to put a custom bend in it. This is... Did they give me another extra? They did. They gave me one that's not bent. Okay. Well, I only needed one. So, thank you, I think. This one is also part of that diverter ramp assembly that I'll have to notch stuff out. And I also, I guess I didn't have them do bends in that. I'm questioning if that's supposed to have bends. Where did I put the other one that needs bends? I don't remember. Probably all in the same pile. This is the top cap for the sorting hat. And I'm sure I messed this up too, because why wouldn't I? The hole is supposed to be able to fit a magnet core. I mean, it does, but needs just a little bit of filing to open that up more. Because what this is the sorting hat is not only a multi-way diverter, but this sets on top of it with a magnet, and it can grab your ball while it's in the diverter and fling it back into a subway entrance. Or a ball can come out of the subway entrance and it'll grab it and do a show. But mostly, like, I can use it to pause the ball and do like your sorting into house and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my biggest mistake so far, is my tolerances have been off on a lot of stuff. This is supposed to be the Horcrux ramp. I gotta do my own curves in this. So I'll do that, try to make it work. If I can't make that ramp work, the next design will be a drop ramp that has a hole hidden underneath it for the Ministry of Magic. Can't remember what that's for. Oh, that goes behind the right ramp to prevent ball trips. I gotta do my own curves and bends in that one. This is my half ramp for the Weasley shot. This is the arm for the servo. This is this is a bracket for the Quidditch playfield that holds the spinner that you mount the spinner to. And this is also for that drop ramp thing. And this is a guide for the sorting hat. That should be everything. I need to like go through and do inventory of all the stuff. Alright, that's another clean board. We did it. So, now like the exciting stuff. Stuff I kind of wanted to work on, at least for today. The inlays. I want to get these all correctly configured. Guess I can start on the right side over there. Boom. So right now I've just been using these plastic inlays. Those are gone. This is a plastic top for what would be right there. Guess I probably should have organized this stuff, huh? Alright, there's that one. And spacers. Alright. There's a possibility that I might not be doing this tonight, because I made my holes too small for the standoffs. I won't be able to get a screw through there. So that's the first thing I'm going to have to do, is go through and re-drill all those holes. Yay. I've got a drill press. It's just going to take more time. I'll have to do that for all of the lane divider stuff. And then that, I believe, goes kind of like that. I'll have to drill those holes out too. Well, shoot. That's disappointing. I mean, it'll be cool when it's done, but I gotta drill those holes out. What are you gonna do? What else can I mess with right now? Not a whole ton. I would have liked to get those inlanes put in place. But that's pinball. That's agate over there. There's the one that needed to be bent. And I need to check that one, see if I paid to bend those or not. That's sorting that. That stuff is mag rail. Sorting hat, diverter. This was supposed to be over here, but that has since relocated. Is it there or back here? I think it was back here. Either way, don't need that. Don't need that. That is the captive ball. This one, I think, is the one they were supposed to laze or etch a line on there. I can't remember. Is this? I can't remember. Yeah, they were supposed to put a line on there for me to bend. They didn't. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mr. Nerdtastic. Appreciate it. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Pretty sure. I can't remember. Oh, that's supposed to be over there. And that mounts to a post there. That's the direction. So that is the sorting hat lower bracket. And this is the upper bracket. Okay, so the one they didn't bend, that one there. Maybe they did kind of machine it into there. Hard to tell. And that is the upper bracket for the sorting hat assembly. That's the plates. And this top plate. And the buck. This is the left orbit. That's Quidditch. That's Quidditch. This is a ball guide for sorting hat. It's half ramp for that shot there. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's definitely been a labor of love. It's been a lot of work, but so far I'm happy with how everything is turning out. That's extra. That I won't need anymore. That is Quidditch. That's also extra. I appreciate that they gave me extras, but I didn't need them. This is a yoke patch, as is this. I think they made me 2 of those, which I didn't need. Only needed 1. Oh, what are they used in? I think it's the captive ball, which part of this area here. This is part of the forks. This is also part of the forks. This is the ramp thing. Which is maybe here-ish, something like that. Center ramp / Horcrux ramp. There's also Horcrux. That is mag rail. Mag rail. Center ramp. What was this thing? Can't quite remember. Had to be for one of my mechs, but I can't remember which one. That's a question mark. That is also not going to be used. Put it. Let me move the mag rail to the floor as well. This is the support for sorting hat. This is a pivot for a diverter. This is a protector for that. Opto that's over there. This is also for the fork. They may have messed this one up too. These are two of the same. It's supposed to be left hand, right hand. Also, maybe, I don't know what that is. All my brackets for the bucks. Those down here. That is for the Whomping Willow. I can't remember what this is for. Huh. Well, that's also unknown. This, I believe, is for the mount for the ramp thing. Maybe. Can't remember. So that one's maybe. Those should be mounts for ramps. This is part of the Horcrux ramp. This is left side. Those go there. That is for behind the right ramp. That isn't used. Can't quite remember. That's for this completely flat piece of steel with no holes. Where was this? This may be over here. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember where all my walls go. This is what it is. Yeah, so that's the unboxing of stuffs. Kinds of stuffs. This should be sorting hat. Yeah. We gotta figure out what everything is. That goes with that. That goes with that. That goes with that. This used to be this, so that's got to be redesigned. And this used to be that. Okay. I don't know what this goes to. Is that... Nope, that wouldn't be that. Oh, might be this. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. So, I don't know what some of this is still, but I will figure that out eventually. Have that. That didn't exist yet. Yeah, I don't know. Got some stuff I can't remember what it goes to. And this stuff goes with that ramp up there. Or that. That has me curious. This, no, thinking maybe that was supposed to be the inside here, and they just didn't cut it. We'll leave that up there as a maybe. Yeah. That just leaves me with the one that I can't for the life of me figure out what it went to. Got both the inside and outside of that. Got that outside rail. Oh no. Goes in the maybe pile. Well, there you have it. That's as far. Oh, that's as far as I'm gonna be able to get today. Yeah. It does look. It'll look fancier when it's all complete too. Yeah. So that's it. He had my phone. Alright. Let's see who's streaming out there. Send some raids, some ways. Do some stuff. We got anyone playing? Aerosmith, Godzilla. Well, do the Godzilla one. Because who hasn't seen enough of that? So, thank you all for joining. I appreciate anyone who stopped by and watched me fumble through this mess more. Yeah, try to keep streaming every couple weeks or something like that. I don't really do a regular thing, but as I make progress, that's what I do. So, anyways, have a good evening, and we will see you next time.